Hello and welcome to another Modern Commerce Talks from Avensia. As always, I'm your host, Jack Stratton from Insider Trends, and delighted to be joined today by Ben Rund from Riversand, who are a Syndigo company. Ben Rund is the VP for Business Development in the EMEA region. Thanks for joining us, Ben.
Hello, I'm super happy to be here.
And Ben, really interesting subject. We've touched on with one or two really interesting speakers in these sessions before, not exactly in this way, but on ideas around D2C and MDM. So today, really, this session is about the relationship between those things. And I'm really interested to learn a bit more. The first question I want to ask you, though, just to make sure that the audience and everyone who's tuned in is clear on this, is what do we mean by MDM within this context of this discussion?
Very good question. So MDM stands for Master Data Management. But what that really means to enterprises and business people is that they're able to manage the 360 view of their customers, their prospects, the 360 view of their products, offerings, or services, or everything about their suppliers, locations, and more, with one goal: to offer the right product to the right customer at the right time. And that means MDM are solutions which help, at the end of the day, turning data into business outcomes. And what that concretely means is you're able to predict the next best action in targeting, in marketing, in your customer experience activities. Or it helps you as a company to achieve the e-commerce revenues with better data. Maybe we come back to that a bit later too. It could also mean that you're able to streamline your supply chain processes to optimize your cost savings. Or, let's not forget, it's important that you're able to comply with regulations, data protection rules like GDPR, regulations in food, regulations in pharma, energy, or whatever industry you are in. All that is where MDM adds value to companies.
That's interesting, and I think that leads me on to partly why I asked that question, which is that there are so many MDM solutions on the market, and of course they're all very different. But I think if I'm someone watching this and I'm thinking about MDM, I guess what would be really good to know is what's really important in terms of getting MDM right. How can I find that important thing that helps me to make that decision about the MDM solution I should choose for my business?
I would say if you're selecting an MDM solution, regarding success, it is important that you think about the outcomes you want to achieve with it first, and slice and dice your project into a concept which delivers fast time to value to your business. But you're fully right. You have to take a right decision for a solution to stay agile and competitive for the digital business era. So, for an example, why are platforms like Shopify so successful in their growth? They are no-code solutions. They're headless solutions. That means they can be easily configured and scale in the cloud to whatever happens in your business tomorrow. You have to be able to react to change fast. And the same logic applies to e-commerce solutions, same like to MDM or PIM solutions. The problem is some old legacy non-cloud technology can't do that. So only the no-code approach of cloud SaaS solutions enable companies to react fast to change. And if you do a wrong decision, that could really make your total cost of ownership go to the roof, and then you're stuck with something which is very unflexible. Please avoid that.
And I suppose that leads me nicely to, one of the biggest kind of talking points of the last year or two. Certainly something that if people weren't aware of it before the pandemic, they're definitely aware of it now, which is D2C. I'm conscious of the fact that MDM and having a really powerful MDM solution is really kind of pivotal to making D2C work for a business or whatever. So I'd be interested in you talking through how that works. How does an MDM solution become a really kind of powerful tool for a D2C business or a D2C offering of any kind?
Very good one. So let's look into what is an important prerequisite for success in direct-to-consumer business. In my opinion, it is the relationship between your products, your services, your market, and your customers, to name the most important ones. So you have to define these and you have to actively manage it. MDM, or Master Data Management, we talked about it, exactly helps you to do this. Create it, visualize it, and record and document all the information about product history, customer interest, location information, where is it? And we come back to my initial message, to offer the right thing to the right customer at the right time. So D2C is not just an additional channel in your sales and marketing omni-channel strategy. It is furthermore a commitment to your business. It's a change and a chance as well for direct feedback on your brand, on your products, on your services, but also on your processes. And if we look into the transformation which is happening today, that creates new processes in your business. They're digital driven, they're automated. And that happens in direct e-commerce to consumers, which is consumers or even B2B customers. But what it means at the end of D2C is you have to meet your e-commerce KPIs, online revenue, conversion rate, add to cart rate, average cart revenue, and so on. And we're, for example, actively monitoring that with our customers. They're able to achieve higher conversions. They're, for example, able to achieve more than 70% higher add to cart rate if they're using product tours, which is product content, which is product data. Or they're able to have much higher add to cart rates if they're able to show comparison tables in e-commerce. And that all is what we name enhanced content based on master data, and that drives the commerce experience for clients.
That's really interesting. And what it kind of makes me, to sort of round this off, it makes me realize that, you know, part of the fundamental part of D2C is that missing channels, basically, right? You're jumping channels from a traditional model of maybe your product goes through the, you know, a retailer or a third-party seller, and you have these different places that it goes. But one of the most interesting things about D2C is that you skip all of that. But it's probably very easily forgotten that by skipping, actually that makes MDM, good data management, so much more important, because you don't even have those steps to be able to kind of check that everything's in place. It's like, you know, it's from your, almost your mind, your business, you've created this product and you've got it ready to go straight to the consumer. You know, there's no kind of natural stops and checks in this long supply chain process. And I'm sure from your point of view, that makes getting the right MDM solution even more important.
Yeah, and you have to own, right? You have to own the process and the data much more compared to you just giving it to someone else. So it's a commitment, it's a job to do, but also a tremendous opportunity.
Yeah, absolutely. A lot of responsibility, but you're right, a massive opportunity. Ben, it's been so interesting chatting to you on this, and I hope we get to talk about D2C and MDM more, because I think I'll learn a lot. So thanks very much for your time, and thank you to everyone for tuning in, and we'll be back with more Avensia Modern Commerce Talk soon. Thanks, Ben. Cheers.
Thank you. It was a pleasure.